here we are, episode 3 of season 10 of Rupaul's Drag Race. So the girls all come back into the workroom and we've waved goodbye to Calorie Kardashian. Eureka wipes her message off the mirror and we get straight into it with the drama, with Aquaria saying about how Vixen won with somebody else's wig, and then, you know, it's snap. And you'd think, you know, at that point, all right, you've said your bit, move along. Well, you know, as we know, that doesn't quite happen. The next day we come back into the workroom and everybody's chatting, and then of course Rupaul appears and they have to advertise a chocolate bar for the mini challenge. Do I think this is a great mini challenge? No. Do I think that it had the potential to be a great mini challenge? No. Did the girls do the absolute best with what they had? Yes, I think they did. Like, again, 20 minutes to get ready. It's very difficult to, you know, make that happen. But props to Miss Cracker. I think out of all of them, she looked probably the best for 20 minutes. You know, she has a very good, fast face. And the winners, of course, were Monet Exchange, Monica Hart, and Blair St. Clair, who all three of them did a really good job. The main challenge itself is for them to create an advert for a dating app. So the 3 winners have each got their own app to advertise. We have End of Days, which is Blair St. Clair, Fibster, which is Monica Hart, and then we have Money Exchange, who is Madam But Her Face. The girls all split off in their teams. Eureka is, of course, in Blair's group, and she's straight away in there with, I want to do this, I think that, and Vixen is not having any of it. She does not enjoy this at all. Then in Monica Hart's group, we have Mayhem Miller, and she's not putting in as many ideas as everybody else. It's decided that she will take the narrator's role because for her it feels like she'll get a bit more of an, you know, exposure with that. In Monet's group, you've got Yuhua, who, I mean, it doesn't bode well, does it, that she starts by saying, so what should we call this? You know, she hasn't even understood that actually you've been given the name, you've been given the framework of what it is that you need to make, and just go and make that. Like, she thinks that you have to kind of reinvent the wheel. As you are talking, you can see that Monet is getting, like, frustrated and a little bit irritated by the fact that Yuhua keeps shooting her down, but still doesn't really understand the premise of what it is that they're supposed to be doing. So the other 3 are all like, oh yeah, on the same page, and she's like, while we're still in the workroom, you can see that Yuhua really does not get what her team is trying to achieve. You know, you've got Asia, who's painted herself like the missing link. You've got Aquaria, who's painted herself to look like a mix between the clown from Saw and the child catcher. And she's just painted like a normal face. So the first group to come in is Fibster, which is Monica Hart's group. And before they've come in, we've had a little conversation about Kameron wants to be the narrator rather than Mayhem, because I wrote it, so I think I would be, you know, I'd just deliver it much better. And unfortunately, Monica doesn't click on that actually Kameron has the voice of a very bored person. So maybe Mayhem would be better at this. And Mayhem doesn't fight for it. She just goes, okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, this is a competition. You know that you have to do the best for you. So if you don't think that that is fine, say. Because it's better to say it there and then rather than later, when actually you end up not doing as good a job as you could have done. It's not kind of clear who wrote the scene for Mayhem, whether she did it or whether somebody else did. But there isn't really a joke there, and there isn't really any narrative or any story in there. It's just a nothing that happens for Mayhem. And I think that there are ways that she could have sold it if in her intro thing she'd said, I'm really sweet, and I'm kind and I'm very gentle and I like someone to take control of me. And then she comes in and she's like, sit down, bitch! Then, okay, there's something else there happening. That's the way you could have sold it, but what she'd done just didn't, none of it kind of gelled or made any sense. Next group in is End of Days, and they seem to have really worked on their characters before they actually come into the space. So it means that when they're actually in there, they're able to ramp that campness up even more, and Michelle's able to draw more of that out of them. The only thing with this group is that Vixen doesn't seem to be on the same kind of page as everybody else. She's not on the same level. So we don't really get to see her in this process. The only thing that we hear is Michelle giving her the direction, you know, to react. You have to be present and here with everybody else, because otherwise you're just a body with a sandwich board on. So our next group to come in is Madame Butterface, and the whole thing is stolen by Asia just because she looks so damn hideous. Everybody's performances are really kind of mismatched in this, and it was so clear from Carson and Michelle's reaction that this is not good. Then we're back in the workroom and Blair is talking about how much he is missing his mum, and then we get to hear Dusty Ray Bottom's story about how she doesn't now have a relationship with her family because of their very strongly held Christian beliefs. And I'm putting Christian in inverted commas like that because you talk about Jesus, he talks about love, and making people miserable is not very loving, in my opinion. So we find out that Dusty has had a really tough time with her family and doesn't really now have a relationship with them. And then we have the flip side of that, where Monet is saying, like at her Methodist Church, she'll turn up in full drag for the choir rehearsal and she'll lead everything, and everybody is totally fine with that. And I think that that's amazing. And I think it also shows that there's such a disconnect between the teachings of the church and its actual actions in a lot of different instances, you know. This is the point where Aquaria attempts humour again. If somebody has come in and saying, I'm ready to fight, and then you are picking at them, then they're picking at you and you're getting upset about it because they're picking at you, well, more fool you. They were clear when they came in. This is how I behave, and this is what I'm bringing. So you need to be aware of that and be like, well, okay, so I'm not down with that, so I'm just gonna leave you alone. I don't need to deal with that. That all culminates with Aquaria leaving the workroom. Vixen's like, well, this is who I am. Deal with it. We're finally out onto the runway and Rupaul sounds poorly. So Rupaul, get well soon, girl. I sound a bit poorly, but it's because I got drunk 3 nights ago and I'm still not fully recovered. All the girls come out, they're showing us their runway looks, and the runway look this week is about feathers. I brought mine for you, Vegas showgirl feathers. I've got to say, the runway was a little hit and miss for me. I just think some of them were okay, and some of them were not okay. Like my favourite ones were Blair. I thought she looked absolutely beautiful, the shape of it, and there was enough kind of oddness about it to make it look really couture to me. So I thought that was really beautiful, and I thought she looked great in it. I thought Eureka's was fabulous, with the iconic Eureka hair, sort of like a flame sat on top of this black witchy outfit. I thought she looked really good, and her makeup looked fantastic. I thought that Asia was hilarious, like really funny, really cute costume. I thought that was great. The costumes I didn't like so much were, I didn't really like Miss Cracker's all that much because it looked like, well, the cage skirt wasn't really a cage skirt, it was more like a pair of saddlebags on the side of a horse or something like that. It was a bit weird. And then I wasn't that keen on Dusty Ray bottoms either. Like, the boobs were really low in it, the feathers were in a strange place, then it was all open at the back. I didn't think that the wig was very nice on her. It was just, none of it really worked. So it's a good job that she did such a great job in the challenge, because it meant that we'll get to see her next week. End of Days is the first commercial that we get to see, and I think as a whole, this one was the most successful for me. I thought it was the most successful because most people's levels of performance were around the same area. After End of Days we had Fibster. The problem in this one was that Mayhem, we didn't really get to see her at all. Like at the start of it, we had the 3, and then Mayhem wasn't in it, and then she was just like a little add-on at the end, almost like a tagline, you know, dragging a boy off his seat away for a bit of fun times. So it was just a bit mismatched, you know, everybody's performance didn't quite gel together. And then we're on to Madame Butterface. Again, it's another one where not everybody's performance level matched up with each other. You know, so you had Money Exchange, who was delivering it in quite a nice way. It was quite good and she was interesting. And then you had Asia, who, although she had a small part, really sold it. You had Aquaria, who had better content, but such a bored voice all the way through that, like, you're not selling the product to me. You've done it with your face and your look, but your personality just isn't there for this. And then you had Yuhua, who just didn't seem to get what was going on at all. So the content and the performance weren't really very good from her. It's only really when you get to see it that you know exactly how you've done. And you could see with all of the girls that they were recognising that as the videos were on show. The tops of this week were Asia, Blair and Eureka. And I'm really glad Eureka was in the top. I thought she did a great job. I thought Blair did a great job. And I think what happened was, because Asia didn't have that much, you know, the other girls did more. But I think it was coupled with her feather outfit and then her performance that it was so radically different to one another that I think that that's what did it for her. That's how Asia ended up in the top. The bottoms this week were Cameron Michaels, Yuhua, Hamasaki and Mayhem Miller. I think Cameron, because his performance just wasn't good enough, it just didn't land. I think Mayhem, because her performance was nothing, there was nothing really there, and Yuhua just didn't understand the concept. And the two people in the sing-off are Yuhua and Mayhem. Kameron is safe this week. In the lip sync, let me know what you think, but to me, it was indicative of how Yuhua had approached this challenge. She just didn't get it. What I've noticed more and more with all of the Lip Sync for Your Life performances is the more committed you can be to your performance, the more likely it is that you're going to stay. So you can do cartwheels and backflips and running up and down and rip your skirt off and play your guitar and grimace your face. If you're not embodying and really committing to the performance, it doesn't matter, because it's just all a lot of nothing. You have to really mean what's going on stage. That's what we saw from Eureka last week, and that's what we saw from Mayhem this week. She really meant it. And so, Mayhem's the one that gets to stay, and you are, unfortunately, got sent home. Next up, we have our UK and Ireland points of view. Here are our UK queens.
Hi, I'm Ginger Hunter.
And I am Verry Cherry.
And we're at Sleepover, and we just watched RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10, Episode 3, and we're going to talk about it. Cherry, start your engine. The mini challenge was selling chocolate to RuPaul. Go!
Oh, I love chocolate, but it also reminded me of a chorus line. And my bedroom, where people shout random things at me.
let's process that image for a moment. And then the main challenge, what were your thoughts on that?
I love the main challenge. It was very team effort, but also they log ahead, so that was brilliant. Brilliant TV.
Yes, I really like Monique as well because she looked like Gail King.
Is Gail King?
Oprah Winfrey's best friend.
You get a best friend. You get a best friend. You get a best friend.
Everybody gets a best friend. And then who was your highlight on the runway?
The highlight on the runway, Kameron Michaels. Maleficent on crack, for sure.
Mine was Tweety Bird. Yeah, probably my favourite runway look ever.
She looks so good.
And then one word to describe the episode. Go.
Team-work.
And mine was explosive. It's getting good. See you next time.
Bye, Davina.
Hello, this is Alice. So we are on episode 3 of Drag Race, where they had to make an advert for these gay dating apps. And in my opinion, Yuhua did not commit to the kind of ugly character. And it's a shame really, because I thought she would have gone a bit further than that, but no, her jokes wasn't landing and the look just wasn't right, so that was very disappointing. My opinion, the End of Days group, I think their advertisement was the best. It had all the jokes in it and it actually made sense. And Eureka definitely redeemed herself this week compared to last week. She really needed that. In terms of outfits, I thought Kameron Michaels was amazing. It was so beautifully put together, an absolutely incredible look for them. Monique's look, I don't really like. It would have been better if it had more shape, a bit more padding in the tits and hips. It just made her seem a bit straight up and down. And I thought Asia's little bird look was so iconic. That was such a cute idea. I found that hilarious. And Dusty looked very, very uncomfortable in their outfit. It just didn't suit them, and it had those cheap feather lashes. I didn't really like the contrast of the white, and the wig just didn't go. I didn't really like that at all. But yeah, that was my opinion of this week's episode of Drag Race.
Hi, welcome. It's Cosmic here, all the way from London's glittering West End, where I'm in a little interval break, so I'm going to be really quick. Lovely Davina asked me to review the episode from Rupaul's Drag Race last night. I've never seen it before, I didn't know what to expect, I've never heard of it. Nobody ever talks about it, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback with my little notes that I made on my little iPad down here. That's how tall I am. This is actually an iPad. I've got very big hands. So my little review goes a bit like this. Calorie left Eureka. So Eureka stayed and Calorie left the stage last night, which is ironic because Eureka was left on the stage looking like she could lose a few calories. We have a new emerging dating app. End of the Days, Fibster and Butt Her Face. Kameron takes 2 hours to put his face on, and with a face like that, I wonder how many hours it takes him to take it off. I never trust drag because it takes longer to put their face on than they take a machine performing on stage, but never mind. Aquaria, the thing that I put down here is the big nose Lee wore looked a bit like Magnolia Crawford. They found a spider on a wedding dress. That was one of the highlights of the episodes, and I hate spiders. I hate anything with 8 legs. Last time I saw something with 8 legs that had 4 cocks attached to it, so there we go. Dusty Fit Bottom, or whatever her name is. Dusty Ray Bottom is quite fit. That's what I put down here. Priorities count here. I think that him and his boyfriend are quite fit. I wonder if they're in threesomes. Or if they're not, I don't care. If I wanted to disappoint 2 people at the same time, I'd go for dinner with my parents. So there's that. The judges were Nico Tortella, or whatever his fucking name is. He's quite fit though. He looks like a Lannister though, which is a bit putting off. And the runway category was feather. So the flock puns and the cock puns were pouring left, right and centre. Monet looked like Babette from Beauty and the Beast. And Aquaria went for a I've been shot in look. Which is great and quite appealing to all of us, I think. The thing about Blair is that she just goes for the same look every week about this. So I've just stepped off a train from opening scene of Coca Crowner, which I find a bit boring. I think she'd look better with 4 cocks in her mouth. And then they lip synced to quite a punky song. It was Celebrity Skin, and poor Yuhua, or whatever her name is, Hamasaki, went home. But that only made me feel like there should be a drag queen called Mama Wagga instead of Wagamama. I thought that'd be a good drag name. Apart from that, I didn't listen to most of it because it was boring as sin and most of them were quite dull. And I thought that the main thing that I was looking forward to was me working here this evening, which brings me to say I've got my own pit crew. So when I say pit crew, I expect quite a gorgeous hump to come over and give me a gin and tonic. Let's see if it works. Pit crew! Well, you're supposed to be American, so not Essex, but have a go. Can you do an American accent? Can't even speak fucking English.
That was awesome.
That's Australian, you twat.
That's awesome, dude.
Anyway, so my surmise of... Get up! Sit down here then, John. They're probably more interested than you than I am. My surmising of episode 3 of season 10 of Drag Race is that I thought that Madame Butterface... Sorry, you got him. Madame Butterface app was the best because they look like Klingons, and Asia looked like something from The Descent, and they all look prettier in that app than Rupaul has looked in her whole life. No, I'm only joking, she's beautiful. Listen, thank you very much for having me on this little video. Thank you to Mark, our DJ this evening, who's nodding at me saying get back upstairs because we'll start the second half of the show. Nod, Mark, because that's true, isn't it?
It's true.
It's true. And my lovely pit crew down here, I've got 10 of these upstairs. This is the smallest of the lot. The rest of them can't fit through the door because they're so big. Not sideways, but just lengthwise, aren't you? So, we're... Sorry, John, I'm just getting comfortable. I'm on a break, John. So, thank you very much for joining me on my little podcast. It's not a podcast, it's video cast. Thank you, Davina De Campo, you're gorgeous. If I was ever going to have sex with a drag queen, it'd probably be you. If I was straight, you'd be pregnant. I'd love to scissor with you. We'd stick together like stickle bricks. So have a nice weekend, everybody. Go and see some local drag and enjoy RuPaul's Drag Race in moderation. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to give me your opinion, and I would love to hear it, send me your video of a minute or less to divinadecampo@hotmail.co.uk. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we shall see you next week. Bye-bye! Bye!